Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dragon's Prophet Scales and Tales.
Mm-hmm.
We have a special guest today who's actually going to be our host, really. So you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. My name is Jennifer Bridges. I'm also known as Yavier on the forums. So I've been helping you guys out, trying to give you guys updated messaging on what's going on. And then, of course, here is Todd Carson.
Hi, Todd Carson, senior producer on Dragon's Prophet. Rod was crashing into a mountain over here, so I had to help him.
Yeah, he needs help a lot.
That's the drive mirror.
And Rod Haza.
Hello, guys. Nice to see you guys again.
He's the associate producer for the game, in case you're wondering. So today we have a very special edition of Scales and Tales, as Todd mentioned. We wanted to go over the launch of the game, which I know you guys are really excited about, and we wanted to explain some of the things that have went on, because I know you guys have lots of questions on it. First up, we will be discussing the launch. Then we will be addressing player questions. A lot of you guys submitted them on the forum post that we had put up, so thank you for that. Someone is adjusting the volume right now. We got it?
Jen is a very quiet person. Do I have the volume up enough here?
Yeah, just crank that a little.
My dragons will destroy you. Okay, so again, if you couldn't hear, we are going to discuss the launch of the game. We're going to address player questions that you guys submitted on the forum post that we put up yesterday, and we also will be showing off some upcoming features for you.
That's true. All true stuff. So far, accurate.
Yeah. So first up, let's just get right into it.
Okay.
A lot of people have asked about the status of the launch, and I think it's a great opportunity to provide some insight into the development process.
It is. And so we are actively working on trying to launch the game. We want to launch the game. We know you guys want us to launch the game. But, you know, we hold certain standards to what we expect to have at launch. And currently, we are working on a few things to improve the game, to get it to a place where we feel it's ready for launch.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, this week, it just hasn't been ready. As you all are aware, there have been a few problems with graphics drivers and some other things that we've been working on. It's good, though, that we've been talking with RuneWaker every day. We've been expressing, telling them, like, here are some of the issues that we're having on the QA server. And, they've been responsive. We've been talking on Skype every night. We've been having phone calls. We've actually gotten new builds every day as well, and we've seen a lot of progress. So from where we were even, on Tuesday evening and Tuesday night to where we are today with another build we got just today, things are looking really good. And we're very hopeful for launching the product very soon. I'll leave it just at that. We've got a lot of testing to do this weekend as well, and but we want to get the game out there. We want that new content. There's also some changes we made with the new content, and I think one of the things that people have been asking about is what's going on between the different. There's Dragon's Prophet is in different territories. It's in Taiwan, it's in Japan, it's in Europe, it's here. So when RuneWaker provides a new build, they provide it to the European publisher and us at the exact same time. So we're always on the same build. And we just made the decision that we weren't ready for launch. There are certain expectations we have that go with it, and we're not ready. And we will publish when we feel it's ready, and hopefully that's very soon.
Yep.
Does that answer your question?
It does.
It was a long answer.
Can you explain some of the difficulties we are having with? Can we give more details to why we're not launching specifically?
Yeah, I mean, specifically, sure. I can get right into it. In a recent build, we had some new issues come up. And part of development, part of what happens in development, and when all MMOs is, you're trying to create the sound game you have, right? And you're like, well, hey, this part of the game has a little bit of an issue still, so let's try to fix it. Well, and whenever you make a code change, you always run the risk of affecting something else that you didn't expect to, and creating new bugs. You try to optimize part of the game, so we're trying to get the PvP area set up. We want the players to go in there, and we expect several hundred players to be in that one area up in the Frontier system. So we want to do a lot of optimizations, and RuneWaker's wanting to do a lot of optimizations for that. In doing so, you can create other problems. You can create, problems with other areas of the game where people all of a sudden can't access the game properly. In this case, that's specifically what happened. We have some crash issues, and we're trying to fix that. And again, over the last 3 days, we've done a lot of internal testing here over on a dozen different PCs, and we've gone from all of them experiencing issues to now just a couple of them experiencing issues based on the video card they have and the drivers they're using. And so we sent that to RuneWaker last night. I wrote an email to everyone at the company over there and said, hey, look, we're getting really close, but we don't want players experiencing these issues when we have when we're in the beta phase of the game, we have a little more leeway, right? We have, we want to change the abilities, we want to change, the character stats, we want to change that's what beta is all about. It's okay to have some issues. Though some players are having issues in this area, we couldn't at the very beginning of beta. Everyone would crash them when they got to a certain town. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's acceptable in beta because we're trying to make the game. But once we put the launch moniker on the title and we let it out there for the players, for the press, for everyone, we can't have those type of things happening.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
so we're in progress of fixing those crashes right now, and we're very close. Like I said, we just got the new build up about an hour ago, and we'll see how it continues to go today.
Okay, very cool.
I'm sure by Sunday we'll have a much better answer of where we stand and how soon we can launch.
Can you talk about how player feedback has influenced our decision to hold back and what we've done to address players' concerns that they've given to us?
Well, I mean, player feedback and what we see on the forums, what we talk to players in game, tickets we receive in CS, right? So our customer service has been receiving tickets about different problems, and that sometimes that brings to light things that we don't even know, right?
Yep.
To be quite honest, when we had the update last week, we were not aware of certain issues because it just so happens that we didn't have the same drivers applied to all of our machines that we've been testing with here. And players started ticketing. We changed some of our drivers to match and said, oh, wow, this slipped by us. So without the player feedback, we would have not known that. And so, that's to that extent, we're always listening to the player feedback. That's why we're having this session today and why we're talking. We see the questions coming in. We've been watching the forums. So we're always trying to be aware of player feedback and how to respond to it.
Okay, great. One of the questions that we did get is what exactly will be included with the launch update?
Oh, well, that's exciting stuff.
Yes.
I think everyone knows a lot about that. I mean, the content that we've been holding launch for, really launch to us through beta has been like, hey, we want to get the game to a certain state where it's playable. And for the most part, through the month of August and early September, it has been that way, other than this most recent little problem we have. We're also, RuneWaker is continuing to work on the Frontier system. So the Frontier system is a big piece of what's coming at launch.
Yeah.
What players can expect of it, if we're able to launch really soon, what they can expect is that the PvP system is there. Right now, it's set up as an event for us. So, really any of the three of us, so a couple other community folks and CS folks, will be able to go into game and using GM commands, be able to start the event. Players will be able to, if they formed alliances. So, you have to go out there, join a guild. Your guild has to earn points and another guild does. So you have to have two guilds. Then they have to form an alliance. Anyone in an alliance will be able to zone in to the PvP instance. So that's I'm kind of going all over the place here, but that's one of the things we've actually just changed just this past week. Is originally there's a floating island, housing stuff on there. Players that aren't necessarily into PvP, but they're buying a house and they're decorating it and running around. There's some creatures up there. Then there's a crystal that forms, and you have to attack the crystals. Once the crystals are destroyed, the war starts, the PvP war, alliance versus alliance, capture the citadel, that type of stuff. What we actually changed this past week is now when the crystals are destroyed, players will need to go to a particular NPC that's on a platform. And depending on if they're on the defending alliance or an attacking alliance, the very first battle, everyone will be attacking, trying to overtake the citadels. But you'll talk to that NPC, and it'll actually instantly teleport you. It happens very quick to an instance of that island.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because we don't want people. We found this through doing play tests on the Taiwan server and here internally on our server. We don't want people strategically positioning themselves around the island waiting for the battle to start. And we also don't want the battle to be clogged up by houses, which have a lot of items and a lot of
Yep.
things that have to render, by players who aren't participating but are kind of just hanging out there, which is kind of unfortunate and fortunate, right? If you want to just go observe the PvP, it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be able to just sit there and watch, but it's also fortunate because we don't want players that are in the battle experiencing lag because a bunch of people are out there trying to disrupt the battle by just watching
For
it.
sure.
So to make it a true experience, like most games, the people who are fighting are there and that's it.
Mhm.
So in this instance, there won't be houses, there won't be all those housing items, and it'll just be the people that are able to enter the battle. Any alliance then can go up, any person in alliance can go up and join. And what they can experience in the PvP is they'll be able to overtake different capture points. As a reference, Rod and Merv did a pretty cool little Twitch stream
Yep.
just the other day, I think Wednesday evening actually.
Yep. It's up
Yeah.
on YouTube right now if you guys want to go check it out.
Right. It was actually in preparation of launch, as we were struggling at the last minute hoping to launch, but yeah, so we'll have to link, I think we're going to link this video to that video at
Yep,
some point.
we will.
Anyway, so check that out. That gives a lot more details, but basically they'll be able to jump in, they'll be able to use siege engines, mounted combat, take capture points, PvP over the whole island, and it's a 2-hour battle, and so that's going to be available for players at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was a long answer.
Yeah.
Feel free to chime in.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing just
Actually,
fine.
I'm getting dry.
we do have a question for Rod here, which is what happened to the marketplace? There were some changes.
Well, hang on. Before we get to that,
Okay.
I want to keep answering your other question. I've been taking a while to get there. So the
Okay.
Frontier PvP system will be available at launch. There will also be a new zone. It's called Inertia.
Mhm.
There'll be a level cap increased to 80, so players will be able to.
Yep.
And I think a lot of our players already know all this, but you'll be able to level up to 80 now. So if you've already hit 70, or if you're on your way there, level 80, and that's going to be the last level up for a while. So go out there, find your gear, get those cool ancient dragons. 3 new dungeons, 1 new legendary dungeon with that. Of course, new ancient dragons. And then the final piece of new content that really we've been wanting for launch is we're streamlining the new player experience. So Pruatia, Helmuth is the city in the zone of Pruatia.
Mm-hmm.
That's the starting area. We've changed a few of the starter quests. Any new characters, once we launch, they'll see once they finish the instance part. So you start your character up, you kind of go into this little instance storyline. You have to go through like 3 stages of it, and then you're back in the real world, or you're in the real world. There'll be a quest to tame a dragon right away.
Awesome.
One of the things we wanted is, we got feedback from players is, hey, the game's about dragons. I want to capture a dragon right away, and a flying dragon. So it's always been available in Pruatia, but we bumped it up a little closer and gave a quest explaining things. We actually give the player a piece of equipment that helps with their draconic influence.
Mm-hmm.
We've made a few other changes, and the cool thing that we're actually going to show a little later for everyone is there's a world boss that we're going to be introducing. Possibly right after launch, maybe at launch. We're actually still working with RuneMaker because that's one of the other things that isn't fully functional right
Okay.
now. It's there, it's available, but it's got a few bugs in it right now where it doesn't give the rewards or it's not able to be killed. And again, that's one of those things, like, this is part of launch content. We want to make sure it's working the right way
Absolutely.
and not giving players a bad experience. You don't want to go, hey, the game's launched, but we still have a few major problems. So we're working on that, but we'll show you some of the cool stuff for that now. It's a big skeletal dragon. It's for high-level characters, but low-level characters can participate because there's siege weapons around it, and you fire those at the dragon. It's pretty neat. And that is it for launch.
Okay. All right.
Rod
awesome.
can talk about no, I'm sure there's more, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Now Rod's going to tell us a little bit about some marketplace changes that we made. A few of you have noticed that some things did get changed. Most of it was really good, though. So, Rod, wouldn't mind telling
Okay.
us a little bit about that?
Well, let me start with the situation that happened there. Is we were in preparation for the launch, and we went through and we started making some adjustments to the marketplace and to the Dragon Insignia shop and things like that, just in preparation of that launch. It's a little bit separate from the way the build process works, so it allows me to do that kind of on the fly. So I started doing that beforehand.
Is that a dragon joke?
Uh,
Sorry.
And as it turned out, we ended up making the decision to push back that launch a little bit.
Right. So,
And-
so really, I mean, Rod's being kind here. To make the changes to the marketplace that we've been talking about for a while, it actually takes several hours to do it. And really, the reason we made those changes beforehand, like really, literally in the middle of the night, like we were here at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We just gotten off the phone with Infernum and RuneWaker, talking about they're sending another build early in the morning to fix the last minute issues. And rather than if that build was going to work and be the one, we didn't want to have the servers down for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Wait for the servers to go up, get the new build on it, then make the marketplace changes. So Rod was doing this work in preparation to save us from all that downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So as it turned out, I got majority of that all done, and we didn't actually publish, so we didn't have patch notes released for you. So we're very sorry that we actually changed some of those prices and didn't give you notification of it right away. We do apologize for that. And
Yeah, I mean,
we'll
yeah,
fix that in the
it
future.
happens. You know, the prices changed. For the most part, the prices changed in a positive manner for everybody. We did increase some prices, and that's part of what beta was about. You know, we were trying to experiment with prices. We've actually changed some of them last week as well, with the update last week, and we possibly will continue to change them as we go. But you know, we always want to give players notification when we make major changes like this, and it was just a weird thing that happened this time. But overall, I think the players should be happy with the price changing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, new players obviously they'll be new to the game, so they won't know. But we think we're trying to make sure that it seems like it's fair.
Yep. And I think Rod
But you
also.
can't make everybody happy all the time. We
No.
all know that.
No, you
So
can't.
Try to make as many people as we can happy, and try to do what we think is just the right thing for the
Mhm.
game.
And I think Rod explained it the best to me, which is that players have been giving us feedback on a lot of these features, such as the Kindred Wheel, and it was very obvious that a lot of people were overusing it and using it to their advantage, but it didn't make sense having a bunch of new people coming into the game and then them getting a bunch of loot that just basically imbalanced the game itself. Do you have anything more on that?
I mean,
Just
that
that-
kind of covers a lot of it. Pretty much the goal was to make sure that we keep the game as balanced and pure as possible.
Mhm.
And it's just one of those areas that we felt the items that we were giving was a little bit too high value, and we pulled it back in just a little bit. We'll continue to evaluate these, and the Kindred Wheel is actually one of those areas that we're probably going to see a change once a month or so of just to change up the items that are on it so that you're not always getting the same things.
Mhm.
So you expect that in the future, that it will change from
Right.
time to time.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, I think I want to point out that our players that were participating in beta, they had the opportunity to play in beta. You know,
Mhm.
they're in ahead of when everyone else is going to. You know, we're going to go on Steam when we launch, and we're going to be bringing
Yep.
lots of new players into the game that might not have ever heard about Dragon's Prophet. So you know,
Mhm.
the people that got in had a big advantage, and it's unfortunate that they're like, hey, we like it just this way, but
Mhm.
you know, that's part of what beta is. It's about figuring out what the changes are for launch.
Yep. But I
So-
think the other good point with that is that it was through player feedback. A lot of this was through player feedback that we made these changes. So
Yeah.
if you do have additional feedback on it, let us know, and we will take note of it. We have made significant changes for this launch build based on your feedback. So that's really important. Also, if you haven't noticed in the chat, we have somebody giving away Crystalline Chaos Dragon codes. Those are 1 per account. But they're still a free dragon for you, so definitely keep your eyes peeled on that. We've also had several social media contests, and we will continue to run those to give you guys cool items for you to enjoy. And the Chaos Dragon is actually pretty darn cool if you haven't seen him already.
Yeah. People are talking about they have the dragon, but he's still not fast enough.
Oh,
Oh, maybe they're talking about they're not getting the code fast enough. I see. Throw the code out there. It's who can type
First
the
come, first
fastest.
serve, yeah.
That's tough. Well, you know, the cool thing is we've actually, at Rod's suggestion, we've created a separate set of keys because these, you know, that we're giving out, we can actually give them out in game as well.
Mhm.
We can do to other events, so it is possible that we'll be giving out more and more of these keys, or we can continue to give them out. So hang in there, be patient.
yep. I guess we would like to discuss the
Technical
Frontier system a little bit. Like, we talked about what's going to be in at launch, but what are the features that we can talk about that we're planning for post-launch?
Can I comment real quick on something?
Sure.
People are saying more Nagathon codes. The Nagathon codes are done.
Yeah, those
you
are
had
special.
you had to go to SOE Live to do that. However, we made the caveat back then, and I want to just make it clear now. At some point, we are going to put Nagathon on the marketplace for sale. So, if you really like Nagathon, just hang in there. Soon, we can always put Nagathon up on the marketplace. Go ahead, Rod. Answer the.
What
you
was
wanna
the
answer?
question?
The-
The question was about the Frontiers.
Oh,
Well, what-
post.
What can players expect in the future as we move forward with the system?
You guys-
Yeah, I can answer that. Sure.
It's up to you. I can answer.
Well, I mean, right now it's an event that we're going to be running.
Mhm.
And the reason it's an event is because a lot of the features for the Frontier system are still in progress. The High Lord system is
Mhm.
not completed yet. I shouldn't say this. It is completed, but we weren't happy with the way it is. We weren't
Mhm.
happy. Runewaker wasn't happy. Infernum wasn't happy. You know, so we always get together and then talk about these things. We want to make sure that the High Lord system, which is when you capture the Citadel, right? You do
Mhm.
this great PvP battle up on the island. The winner captures the Citadel, and now
Mhm.
they're the High Lord of the floating island. But that reward has to feel worth it. Has
Yep.
to make, what is it? What are you getting? Is it just for the one player who's the leader of the alliance, or is it for the whole alliance? Is it for all the people that are on the floating island as well? So we're still tweaking that system. So in the future, that will be part of the system as well.
Okay.
In the future, it won't be us running the event to trigger. In the future, it'll be like, hey, now this alliance is the owner of the Citadel on this island. If someone wants to come and try to take the Citadel from them, they will be able to go up, trigger the event by destroying the crystals, and then at a certain time after that, a PvP event will happen automatically. That'll give the alliance that is defending the Citadel as well as other alliances time to get up there and battle. So that's some of the big things that should happen. Any
Also,
other points?
with the initial launch, we're going to be launching just one environment that we're using. And shortly after that, we have a second one that'll be coming in. And we're going to continue to do that and turn on each of the frontier islands so that each of them, sooner or later, will become part of that territory war. So each alliance can have different ones that they own.
Yep. Very cool. Let's see. Somebody did ask an interesting question in here. See if I can find it. Just about the SC or the station cache sales before after launch. Just as a common rule and a note for you guys, we don't normally announce those too far in advance because then there's no point in buying the station cache. So if you are looking for those details, we usually announce like the day before, maybe a couple days before. So just keep your eyes peeled. We do have them a lot. I know Station Cache is pretty awesome. And also stay tuned to our Facebook and our Twitter because we do give away Station Cache every Monday. So there's
You
some
do?
right there. Yes, we do.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
All right, when do I tune in? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm keeping it away from you.
And we actually will be running certain sales in the game, and we can do that,
Yep.
whenever. Our plan is to do it at least every other week to put certain items in the game on sale. And there's a special category now at the top when you open up the marketplace. It's called special items and sales, I believe, right?
Special
special sales and
yeah,
bundles
something like
or-
that.
I don't remember.
We changed it around a little
We
bit.
did. We just changed it. That's why I don't remember. Anyway, so keep an eye out there as well.
Okay.
That was kind of funny. Did you hear that jet fly by?
Oh, no, I didn't.
We're in San Diego here. We're right by Miramar Air Station, Top Gun, and there's constantly planes flying over. But while Jenna was talking just now, I think there's one that flew right over the building because it was shaking here. Pretty
So-
cool. Come check it out.
So right now we're going to open it up to the Q&A session of this. A lot of players, like I said before, submitted questions on the forum post that we had. So we've got some of the player questions. We'll answer
Great.
those, and then we will show off that that world boss, if you guys don't mind. One of the first ones we have here is Felwithel. Has or will the bug of Station Cache mannequins destroying items placed on them be fixed?
Why is everybody looking at me? No.
I think, didn't you cause that bug?
Yeah, it was my fault, actually.
That's what
No.
I thought.
It's always his fault.
It is a bug that does exist right now, and RuneWaker is working on it. Had made some pretty good progress on it. I can't guarantee it's actually completely fixed with the next build.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to check today, but I didn't see it in their notes from last night.
Yeah,
So I would say that one's still in progress.
it's in progress. We'll certainly work on it.
Actually, and so whenever we get a new build from RuneWaker, they try to provide us the release notes. And the email we got, I don't know, like 7:30 this morning was a very long email, a lot of release notes in it.
Okay.
Not only working on some of the crash issues that we're trying to fix for launch, but some of the other issues that have been found with the build, the last build that's out on there. So I didn't see that one on there, but it was a long
Okay.
list. So.
As soon as we know for sure, stay tuned to the patch notes because we'll announce it on the patch notes. My best advice for you now is be careful using them right now. There is the chance that items will disappear from them.
Okay.
Okay. Next question. Onaric asks, any word on guilds that lost guild rep points due to last patch, possibly getting more points back? Related, are you going to make absolute sure that the bug doesn't happen again? They just got level 3 and they're worried about losing it. That's a good question.
Yeah, so part of the problem was the way that we dropped the servers. That we were forced to drop the servers, so we definitely made RuneWaker aware of that. And then Rod's also he distributed points to really everybody on the server, and those will work when we do our launch update.
Yes.
So hang on to those little flags because they'll be worth, I believe, 50 points each.
Yeah, and there's 2 of them.
And there's
on
2
your
of them,
character.
so you can bring more people. I mean, the benefit of that is you can add people to your guild that have those and continue to add up those points. We certainly will do our best to make sure it doesn't happen. We, of course, never thought before, oh, it might happen this time, but let's try. We never want it to happen. Every time we do an update, we think, oh, this won't happen. But we will definitely do our best now that it has happened once to make sure it doesn't happen again.
And
Awesome.
the good thing with that is we did identify the problem, so
Yes.
we can now resolve it.
Well, and I believe Runewaker has. We just need to verify.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Pyro asks, "Is Night Aqua in the North American game in Wintertide? And if it is there, are there special summoning requirements, and are these active?"
Well, let me kind of start with the end of that. Just as a general rule, we don't necessarily tell you game mechanics exactly how something's going to spawn.
Yep.
And as we're moving into some of these later areas, the spawning for the dragons is getting a little bit more detailed or intricate. That's the best way I can go. So they do have some special techniques to get them to spawn. In this particular
You might even
case,
say it's lunar. Crazy. Maybe.
in this particular case, Night Aqua is actually renamed. You'll find when he actually comes live to Twilight Ocean is the new name for that dragon.
Okay.
And I did some research on it, and I did find that his spawn technique seems to work and function correctly. But as far as I can tell, nobody on the servers actually got him yet. So I have an inquiry out with Runewaker just to double check to make sure everything's working correctly. I can't guarantee he's going to be in our next build, but we'll make sure he does get in there soon.
Yeah. Okay, that's great news. Let's see. Adina asks, "What new dragons can we expect in the future? Do we have any that we can discuss at all?"
I can't remember any of their names for the life of me. I know.
Oh, but are they cool?
I'm so bad. Yes.
Are they cool?
Of course.
That's the most
And
important
I don't
part.
have
Yeah.
one on me either. Actually, what's really cool with our next zone in Zone 8 is we have a new dragon coming out that's much more similar to a horse. So it's actually a ground mount that you can run around, and it looks
Skitter
a
does
lot
not
more like
count.
a horse.
Skitter does not
Skitter's
count.
awesome.
No,
Skitter's-
that's not a real dragon.
He's cool.
He is a real dragon. Yeah, no. Runewaker's pretty good about coming up with new and creative dragons. We've seen a few that are going to be coming out. So there's always new stuff to look forward to.
Okay, very cool. Let's see. Catherine asks.
Give Skitter his name back, please.
Catherine asks, "Will we get any free reset or attributes or masteries on launch?" She's asking just in case.
On this particular build, primarily we always base our resets of masteries or stat points if we made major changes to those. The launch build is really on major systems such as the Frontier system, the new player experience. We didn't hit a lot of changes to the masteries or the stats, so
I don't
this
think we
particular
have-
one, we
I
don't
think
have a
any,
reset
any
planned.
changes to them.
There's a couple of minor bug fixes.
We added a new stat that you can get through gear, which is toughness. But that's not related to anything on your character. And I'm giving too much away. Rod doesn't like giving that secret
Oh,
kind of stuff
okay.
away. But
Shh,
trust me,
That's
don't-
secret.
don't tell
I don't
him.
know.
toughness. Okay.
Shh. Okay, so actually somebody did correct me. Catherine is apparently male, so that's not a she. There we go. Maistojin, I always get that name wrong, but you know who you are. You're on the forums all the time. And you were also Player of the Month last month for SOE. He wants to know, can we buy special launch packs with dragons?
And that's what I saw someone just asking about starter packs. Yeah, we're going to have a couple packs available. Well, one exclusively through Steam. When we launch with Steam, we'll have a starter pack and a Master Adventure pack.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have dragons in them. That is true. We don't have dragons in them. We don't sell any dragons right now because we're enjoying the players getting them through game. Like I mentioned earlier with Nagafin, it is something we're contemplating doing. In fact, Runewaker, in their version in Taiwan, they have what they call a gotcha bag, which is kind of like a random. There's a rare, like about 1% chance you get this amazing dragon in it. And we're looking at trying to put something like that together. We have different legal parameters that we have to follow in the United States, but that's something we're actively working on with them. And yeah, so we'll see. So there's some cool packs that are out there, but none with dragons in them right now. Go out in the world, find those dragons, capture them the good old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Okay. Then, actually, Mr. Jin asks another question, which is it possible for designated PvP maps islands in housing so that PvP does not directly affect people not interested in PvP, which I believe you answered?
Right. Right now, PvP is deactivated in most of the floating island. There actually is the crystal area where PvP is activated over there. And that's the way we're going to keep it for right now. We're going to look at the option of when we get the Frontier system in the next phase where it happens without GM commands. What
Yep.
happens there? What happens when there's the Citadel, and how does that go? But that's something we're going to play along with as we go, and it's also dependent on the options that RuneWaker gives us with the ability to set up the commands in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we have on our side of things when we bring up a new server with a new publish,
Mm-hmm.
and we set up certain zones, we have the ability to trigger events. We have to set flags certain ways. We don't have the ability right now to trigger certain islands this way and another island this way.
Okay.
It's something that we've talked to them about. And if we get those tools, we could look at maybe certain islands are PvP, maybe other islands are not. Right now, it's an all or nothing. So
Okay.
right now, we decided there's no reason to have PvP around the housing areas if we're going to keep the battles instance.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
You can
Okay.
duel anybody anytime you want.
So I think we'll have one more question, and then we'll move into the world boss thing.
Okay.
So Sky Screamer asks, will we have dragon breeding and be able to buy and sell trained dragons in the future? Just give me a dragon farm.
It is certainly something that has been brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Our focus is not on that right now. Right now, we really want to launch the game. And we want to get this new content out to everybody. And that's really been our focus for the last couple months anyways, finalizing it up, getting to a launch state where we can introduce all this new content, spread the word of the game out there a little beyond where it is now. That certainly was on a list of topics that we had. Even when I went out to Taiwan a month and a half ago, we talked about it out there, and we'll just have to wait and see how things go.
Okay.
Maybe in the future, it's something that could happen.
So definitely keep giving us your feedback so that we know what it is that you want, and we can relay that to RuneWaker and make adjustments as are important. So let's move on to
Okay.
showing this awesome world boss.
And we want to thank you guys all for your patience and understanding all through beta as we do with this, and we're gonna get this game launched soon.
Yes, soon.
Okay, Rod.
Okay, it's all me, huh?
Yep.
So our
Where's
world
that-
boss takes
Where's that
place.
big dragon?
Where is he? That's
Where
a good
is he?
question.
Yeah.
He's actually flying around right now, and I'd have to actually track him down. What you can see here is I'm in Paratia. It's our newbie zone. You can see kind of where I'm at over here on the map. Apparently, I'm really...
Just say 7-8. 7-8
game
instead of
music?
that big arm coming down.
It's kind of freaky when that arm comes in there like that.
It's a kaiju.
This is the environmental effects.
So one of the things that we tried to do with this particular world boss is we wanted to make it interesting for not only high-level players to go in there and fight the boss, but we wanted low-level players to have the advantage to go in there and experience this encounter at the same time. In this particular case, this dragon is Lockfear, who I don't have on my screen anywhere here. He will be flying around here very shortly, I'm sure. He flies around the zone quite a bit while you're in there, and he actually will actually come down and fight you after a while. I'll just fake that and see if we can make that happen. So what you're going to do is, there he is. You can see him off in the distance
Yep.
there. Let's see. If I can, where's he going?
I don't know.
Lockfear. He's a big skeletal
He
dragon.
is a big, huge skeletal dragon.
There he is.
If I was really
Aha.
prepared, I'd actually know the whole lore and history behind him, but I'm
Well,
really bad
How does
when
he
it comes
fly
to
with
that.
just without wings? How does he fly with just those bones?
It's a mystical, magical place
Yes.
in this world we live in.
Oh, check that out.
I'm
Here he
being-
comes.
Whoa. Whoa.
So this is Lockfear, and he's kind of a cool little encounter because he's not designed as your standard one that you want to go in and just
Here,
beat
back,
on him.
Back out a little bit because it looks so funny when you're. Yeah. I hope you buffed yourself up because
I am buffed up. He
All
will
right.
do a lot of damage, and he is designed for a lot of people to get in there and fight him because he is mean. He is really mean.
Yes, he's very mean. Yeah, it's not a quick battle.
Yeah.
When you
Whoa.
we've gone in with.
I
you're
broke
too close.
something.
Well, you're too close to your character.
No, I'm stuck on him.
And don't expect to go in like Dartok is right now because
Yeah, I
he
broke
hack
something.
soars, and so he's got way more hit points than any of
Well-
you guys will probably ever get.
He's got some weird GM commands on.
Yeah, I got something weird going on here. Let me see if I can fix that. Get back out of here. I'm always breaking things.
This is part of what we've been working on the last several days as well. I think we mentioned this earlier. This encounter is tough, but we want to make sure it's not so tough that nobody wants to do it. So we've had to adjust a little what happens when you get on some of the siege weapons here because they weren't working correctly when we first got it. Now you really need to have multiple players because you come and you fix the siege weapon. One guy jumps up on there. Other players need to come over here to the side
Yep.
and get ammo. Just real quick, they load up ammo, they run back over, and they they basically put ammo in the siege weapons, and it's a multi-phase of killing the dragon. So you have to use. You have 3 different abilities when you jump on the siege weapon. After
Getting
you
attacked.
one hit kill that thing. All right, jump up
Why is it not letting me go up on it? Oh,
because you're looting. Yeah, there you go. Jump up.
no, it's not letting me go on.
But I also think some of this is really good to explain why we did not launch right now. Is this is still a little bit buggy, and we still want to make sure, or we want to make sure that Rune Waker gives us a better build that doesn't have quite as many bugs as in it before we give it to you.
Yeah, I don't know what I did here. So in this particular case, this
Because
one's
this
damaged.
Oh,
should
that one's totally
honestly be a
damaged.
really fun, a really fun encounter for you guys.
Oh yeah, it is fun. We just want to make
Fair.
sure that players. I mean, so this is in the main zone operation. Right over here, you're going to be in the 20s when you run over to this area. Obviously, we're hoping that the high level players can come back. Players that are level 60s, 70s, even up to 80 once people have had enough time with the new content. So what Rod's doing now is every time he wants to use it, if you notice up here in the top, well, it was right there, and now it's not. Yeah, there it is. So you see that the damage on the machine, you have to have it 100% repaired before you can jump on it. Now, if you have like 3 or 4 players around here, you fix it really fast. Now Rod's on it, and now everybody, if you look on the bottom of the screen, there's different abilities here that you can use. And they do different things to the dragon. One you're going to want to do to start off is you're going to want to knock down his defenses. So you won't necessarily be damaging him, but you'll be like basically ruining the magic shield that this dragon has around him. That's why this event's fun. So you have all these different ideas. You're 30, 40, 50 people here jumping on the siege weapons, other people running off on the side, pulling the weapons, not the weapons, the artillery, the ammo. That's the word I'm looking for.
Someone does have a good question related to this.
Yeah.
Will this guy drop eggs? Or any
he
of the
will
world
drop,
bosses?
He actually drops flutes.
He drops
Okay.
the flute.
He drops a flute. It's going to be only one, and the rare chance to get actually a skeletal dragon
Yeah, I don't have one.
That's
as
sweet.
your companion. He drops a lot of other cool stuff. Everybody gets something, so everyone that participates is going to get something, and the idea is it's just a fun event. You bring the high-level players in to play with the mid-level players and low-level players. Watch them fly around is pretty awesome. But again, it's taking a few tweaks, and hopefully we've got them in the event in just the right spot when we launch. Who gets the flute is random. It's partially based on the amount of damage done, I believe.
That's my understanding.
But it's going to be random. The flute is potentially going to be random. It may or may not happen every battle. We're still trying to work that out and then get a full understanding of how this works with Rune Waker. So hang in there.
So this event works like almost perfectly when you actually don't artificially start it. I'm thinking I kind of broke it with using my scripts to start it.
Almost perfectly is, I think, an accurate description. But we just wanted to show off how cool it is, how giant this dragon is. And we're not really showing off the battle, but the battle, I mean, when we've been doing this with like 10, 15 players, internally, it's taken like a half an hour to fight this battle. So definitely
Foxy, to answer your
something
question,
exciting is happening.
I don't
you
know what's
won't
going
have
on
to
over there.
re-roll as a ranger. Most of the damage is actually going to be done by these weapons here. So even lower level people will be able to do a significant amount of damage. It's all based on getting on these artillery weapons and doing damage that way.
Yeah, and just so everyone understands, you don't have to fight this thing. Open up the map again real quick. What? You're underneath the dragon? You're crazy. Can you open up your mini-map?
I can.
Okay. So if you look at the mini-map, right, it's way down in this valley here. And not... Can you zoom in a little bit on it? Now that I
certainly
drew on it? Yeah. So your main... All right there, that's good. Your main quest lines are going to take you from here, along this way, and along this way. And there is actually a boss here you can go fight for one of your quests, but we're going to be way down here. There's going to be a broadcast out to the players on the map. Scroll out a little. I'm talking here.
Oh, he's
He's
dying.
dying.
He's
That's
dying.
all right, he can die. There's going to be a broadcast about in this area.
Poor Rod.
Rod dies all
See.
the time anyway. What's the big deal? Just so you know, this isn't a required part of the game. It's an optional part of the game. We try to make sure it's in an out-of-the-way spot so it's not affecting the normal gameplay for a player going through. But still, it's in that environment where people can hear about it, they know about it, they can come see what's going on. They'll definitely see the dragon flying around because he flies around for several hours before he comes in.
Okay.
What we're hoping happens is when he lands and the battle starts, people start using zone chat or world chat, and hey, everyone, come on and take part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to see how it goes. It's really hard to QA this super well when we have a limited number of people. We only have, we can get up to about 15 people in the game at the same time, maybe a little more than that. But it's been fun so far.
Yep.
Would have been a great screenshot.
Yeah, you want to see the drop? I want to see the drop.
I actually meant to
I
get it
actually
on
got
my
a drop
character, but I
yesterday
don't have it
when we
on
did it.
here
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, you want to see? They want
They
to
want to see the dragon,
skeletal
but you can get on, I think. He's pretty cool looking.
Mhm.
I think
We'll
I showed him
let's save that for next week's.
Yeah.
Twitch
just as a
event.
hint. If you look at the one we did the other day for the Twitch stream, I think Merv pulled him up for a little
Oh,
bit.
Oh,
you
he
just
may have.
spoiled my idea.
And not to spoil the mechanics for this particular boss too much for you, but as you can see, there are the siege engines there. You can also go in there and you can fight him if you want melee. You can get in there and do damage. He's going to actually cause a lot of damage back to you in that situation, and that's where the siege weapons come in really handy. They've got several different attacks. A few of those are for damage. Some of them are to debuff him, and you need to use those all in conjunction together in order to take him down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we can, I think we're getting short on time, so I want to
Yep.
bring it back, and we can leave the game on here. Rod can keep showing off the cool dragon while we talk, but I want to recap for everyone real quick. So we made the decision late, right before launch, not to launch last week, and it was based on making sure we provide what we feel is a compelling and complete game to the players that's as bug-free as possible.
Yep.
And given what's happened over the past week, we didn't feel that the build we have is that way. We've talked with Rune Waker. I mean, we were here, Rod and I were here all night on Tuesday night. We were here late Wednesday and yesterday as well. We've gotten new builds every day from Rune Waker. We basically say, hey, here's the machines where we're experiencing crashes on. Here's the problems that we're having with the PvP instance and with the world boss. And I mean, they've been working really hard as well.
Mm-hmm.
They've been getting feedback from Infernum as well, and they've been making changes. We've got new builds. We've seen significant improvement. We have high hopes in the build today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a look at it all day today. We're going to be back in tomorrow and Sunday.
Yep.
And Rune Waker is available as well all weekend. So if there's a couple little issues left, we'll be fixing that. And we have high hopes for next week. We want to launch this game, and we want you guys to get to that new constant. So just hang tight. We
Mhm.
appreciate your patience. Yeah, and we reviewed the new content, the PvP, the Frontier system. It's going to be an event
Yep.
run by us for right now. We've got the world boss. We've got a new starting area, or the new starting experience. It's the
Mhm.
same starting area with a couple different quests. The aggro has been changed on the bosses a little bit. Some other minor tweaks, some quest tweaks, and it's all looking fun.
Yep. And just so you guys know, after sometime this afternoon, we will be posting a launch features article. So stay tuned to the website. We'll also post on social media, so you can look at it there, get a little bit more information on what will be in the build when we do launch. And to answer your question, Thrawn, no, I don't hate you. You have had very interesting discussions with everybody on the forums, and we appreciate your feedback.
We actually appreciate everyone's feedback, good or bad. That's what you guys are there for. We're making this game for you.
Yep.
So, thank you for joining us today. And we're here every week at 3 o'clock. And keep an eye out on the forums. Keep an eye out next week as we come into the week, and we'll let you know as soon as we're ready to launch.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you guys a lot. Anything
right.
else you want to say, Ryan?
No.
All right. Bye.
Thank you
That's all
guys.
good,
Take
All right,
care.
take care.
Bye.